What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're here to talk about feelings. We're always talking about feelings over here on this Instagram, but it's because they are so important. And there was a conversation that I had the other day with a client of mine, and I wanted to share some of the insight. So most of us, especially when we're very physically driven, and when I say physically driven, I'm talking about very focused on the aesthetics, focused on what our bodies look like. And if you're a female watching this or a human watching this, you can probably really resonate with the fact that there's a lot of pressure in our society of how we look and how we show up, right? And so most of the time what I see in my clients is that we have this insane amount of pressure and expectation to look a certain way and to be a certain person, to show up, to be successful, to do all of these things, right? Like what our parents want us to do, what society wants us to do, all of these boxes that are formed around us. You might have heard me talk about diet boxes before in other episodes, and those are things like paleo, keto, right? Whatever society thinks is gonna work and just throws us into a box, and it takes us out of our strength of listening to our intuition. So we have all of these stories and these boxes that are around us that kind of keep us out of our full authenticity and expression. So that is like the armor that's built up around us. And so most of the time what I see is the feminine starts to step more into their masculine energy. And so there's this internal balance that we need to have between masculine and feminine energy. And when we are overly logical, when we are in our heads, which is probably 90% of us, when we're running stories and we're trying to think through things, and the ego voice is really loud, the volume of our internal masculine is really loud, and we are operating from that place of internal masculine, like pros and cons, logical thinking. Meaning we've stepped out of our feminine energy, out of our feminine power, which is our feeling, which is our emotion, because maybe you grew up in a household that didn't allow you to show your emotions, that taught you that anger was bad, that crying was unnecessary, that feeling your emotions wasn't something that you really needed to do, right? So you've been taught and programmed that your emotions are a disadvantage, or they're weak, or they're not safe to explore. And so those emotions get stuffed down into our body. And so what I'm wanting to share with you here today is that the more you're in that internal masculine, the more up here you're going to be. And so I welcome you to drop more into your body and to feel the things that come up for you, because most of the time we're avoiding what we are feeling. We're trying to avoid the pain, avoid the anger, avoid the sadness, but that gets locked inside of us until one day it explodes, or you get really sick. You get internally sick. You develop cancer. You develop all of these diseases because there's all this pent up emotion and constriction in your body. And so your feelings are the way through and out of that, and to actually access that joy, that bliss, that happiness that you're in search of. And that is you stepping into your feminine. Your femininity, your emotions are your power. They're your power. That is your gateway into feeling, into experiencing everything that you're here to be a part of. And so the more that you shut that off, the harder life is going to be, because you're acting out of alignment with your natural design, and you're leading from the masculine. You're all the way over here when you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be this feeling being. You're supposed to be a part of what's happening in your body. That is your vehicle. That's your vessel. So I invite you to lose and to drop some of the judgment that you have around feeling, around emotion, around crying, around sadness, around anger. They are here for you. They are your guidance system into things that may need to be resolved. They are there for you to fully feel, to experience what it's like to be here in this human body. So I encourage you to welcome the feelings and to work on releasing the judgment that comes up for you. And the more that you work with your emotions, the more that you welcome them, get to know them, understand them, not only are you going to feel and experience more, the more vibrant you become as a female. The more you're standing in your personal power, in your feminine power. And that is how you radiate. That's how you step into that loving essence and that being. So I hope this episode was valuable for you. drop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions about leading more from your internal feminine, let me know. I'm here to answer all of your questions. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed this topic, go check out the Excellence Over Perfection podcast, available to you on iTunes and or Spotify, because there's a lot of chat over there around this topic. So I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.